Hey guys, this is Oscar back at it again. Today I'm going to show you something simple, easy, and fixable. We're going to go ahead and change the front brakes on this 525i series. Things you will need, basically, you will need the actual brakes. I do encourage to get the ceramic brakes instead of the semi-ceramic, just because ceramics is going to last you a little bit longer. And you will also need a brake sensor. It's very important you buy this as well, so that way you can connect it to your vehicle and it'll reset the brake light on it. Okay, so first thing first, let's go ahead and get this bad boy lift it up, put it on jack stands, and let's get this show on the road. Okay, so now that we have the vehicle on jack stands and lifted up, we're gonna go ahead and remove the tire real quick. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that we've taken the tire rim off, we're going to go ahead and continue with the process. Now, you guys are in for a treat because I did notice that my rotor has a little lip. I don't know if you can see here with the lighting, but it has a little lip here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take off the rotor and see if I can get them resurfaced at my local shop. So this video turned out to be a actually good video, because not only are we going to change the brake pads, but I'm going to show you how to change also the rotor. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so the next step, we're going to go ahead and remove this bracket. All you do is just get a flathead screwdriver and just remember the configuration that the bracket is, and we're just going to go ahead and just pop it this way. Let me show you. Just be careful. Like so. See that? So when you go put it back, just make sure that this little lip goes in this way. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm just going to put it aside. Now the next step, we're going to go ahead and you're going to go ahead and find some small dust covers. Here's, let's see if I can get that lighting for you. Here's dust cover for one of the bolts we're going to remove, and here at the bottom, let's see if I can show you. There's another dust cover. Let's see, right here, this one. So we're gonna go remove those here real quick, and all you really need is just a flathead screwdriver. And we're just gonna pry those dust covers off like so. Alright, here's one. And let me get the bottom one here very quickly. Here's two. And the next step, I'm going to use a number 7 hex socket. I'm gonna go ahead and put it inside here where I took out the dust cover, like so. I'm just gonna go ahead and ratchet it out. So I'm gonna do that on both sides, okay? And this is what the actual caliper bolt looks like. Just pay attention because the caliper bolt on the top, it's shorter than the one at the bottom. So just keep in mind when you're taking things apart, and I'll show you what the bottom caliper looks like. So remember, this is the top one. I'm just going to put it here for now. Let me get the bottom one. Alright, here's what the bottom looks like. Now if you compare the one on the top to the one at the bottom, you see how there's that the bottom one is longer. So just keep in mind, because I've seen a lot of people come to me and tell me, hey, I just did my brake job and something's wrong. So most of the times they'll probably put this on the top and this one at the bottom. So just keep that in mind when you're putting things back in order and when you're taking things out, okay? Alright, so next step, now that we remove the actual caliper bolts, you see this wire. This is the brake wire the brake sensor wire that I was talking about, that you will need to purchase one, so that way your brake reset could occur. Now we're just going to go ahead and remove the actual brake wire out of these brackets here, just so that way once we actually pull out the caliper, they won't bug us. So let me go and do that real quick. Alright, there we go. Okay, so the next step, we're going to go ahead and compress the pistons. It's really easy. All you do is just get a flathead screwdriver and you kind of put it in between the rotor and the actual piston, and you're just going to stick it in there and just pull this like this, and slowly you'll see that the piston will be compressing against the brake, and that should allow us to move this inwards. Then we're going to pull out the caliper. But before we actually do that, we actually have to come on top. And again, BMW made a smart decision to hide the brake reservoir from us normal people, which I don't blame them, because many customers will probably go in BMW shop and have them do it. But just for those, like, you know, do-it-yourselfers, it's very easy. The actual brake reservoir is underneath this cover. So let me show you how to take that off. First, there's a little hinge here. Just gonna pull this like so. See how it flips down. And then this is actually the cabin air filter as well. So there's also a little plastic retainer here. It's a 13 millimeter plastic retainer. Be careful not to break it. You're just gonna slowly turn it, and that should let's see here. There you go. That should go ahead and allow us to remove that. So we're just gonna remove this like so. And again, oh man, I gotta change my cabin air filter. I got a video if you need to know how to change these out. But let's continue. We're gonna put that aside here. Next step, just like a little plastic cover here. We're gonna remove that gently. Just be careful because you can actually break these little plastic covers. Next step, we have here another 13mm small clips. We're just gonna turn them, and that's gonna allow, it's gonna allow this whole thing to lift up. So let me turn this one as well, and you'll feel it. Yeah, there you go. And then the next step, you see this long weatherproof thing. We're gonna go ahead and just remove it like so. Just put it a little bit on the side. And then here we have this plastic, I guess, retainer that's holding actually this in place, and the other one, there's a little tab here. We're just gonna go ahead and see, if you try to pull it with your hands, it won't come out, but there's this clip. Just pull it up like so, and then it'll just slide off. We're gonna take that, put it aside, and what do you know, you have another plastic retainer here. And again, these are just plastic retainers that kind of hold this stuff in place, so just be careful. Turn it around. See that? Alright, now we should be able to slowly lift this. Just take your time. And you know what, there's also another, I don't know what this was, if it was in there before, so I guess I must have forgot to put it back last time I did a brake job. But there should be something in here, and this should pull up. Again, just be careful because this plastic stuff's pretty brittle, so just gently pull on it. And again, guys, just take your time. What I found it easier the most is just grab it from here and just push it like towards you, and then push it up. Let's see if it works. Ah, there we go. And once we uncover this, voila, we have the actual brake reservoir. All I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go in and turn it, open it like so. Just very careful not to spill. I'm just gonna put it here. I'm just gonna take a peek, see how we're okay. We're pretty good. And I'm actually gonna get a shop rag, put it around there. The reason why is because when I compress the actual piston, whatever fluid that gets pushed in, I don't want it to make a mess. So let me get a shop rag real quick. Okay, guys, so again, I'm just grabbing a shop rag, just putting it around here, because if this gets on your paint, it'll mess up your paint. Alright, so we're good on that. Okay, guys, so now that we open up that top reservoir, the next step, we're going to go ahead and compress the piston. So it's very easy. You just need a flathead screwdriver with a good handle. Okay, and then you see the rotor here. You want to go ahead and, let me see if I can get you a good lighting here. You want to put your screwdriver, let's see if I can get you a close up. Bear with me. You want to put your screwdriver here at the lip of the rotor, and then you want to push it inwards. Okay, and here, let me show you that in action. Just keep your eye on the piston here while I do this. And again, I'm just putting my screwdriver at the lip of the rotor. Get you a close up, and then I'm going to push it this way slowly. Okay, so let me show you that. So this is the lip of the rotor, and look at the piston being compressed. See how it's slowly being compressed? You can also feel it too. Alright, and you really want to compress it as much as you can. And again, I'm going slowly. And once you've compressed it kind of to the max, you see this caliper which just moves easily. Okay, but the trick is to compress it enough to where these little, this is your brake shoe right here, where this clears the actual brake, the backing, let me see, this is actually the brake bracket. Okay, so again, this is the brake shoe itself, and this is the brake caliper. So you want to clear it, you want to compress it enough to where this clears that, because if I try to take it out right now, you see how this brake shoe is hitting the caliper. So I'm still going to compress it. See how it goes inwards, outwards. So I'm going to compress a little bit more. I'm just going to go back here, continue pull on it. Alright, and I think I done the most I could, and voila. See how it came out? Alright, so next step, I'm just gonna go ahead and hang this bad boy. Bear with me. Okay, so the next step, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the brake caliper. Let me just show you. This is the brake shoe near the piston, and this is the brake shoe on the outer piston. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and use a caliper S-type wire. I'm just going to find like a good place to hang it on, like so. I'm just going to go ahead and hang it on the actual shock spring there. And that's just so that way I don't pull on the actual brake hose there and damage that. So before I actually remove the one closest to the piston, I'm actually going to go ahead and remove. See if I can show you here. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove this brake shoe. And all you really do for that, there's these clips with the screwdriver. I'm just going to pull them inwards and they should come off. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick. There we go. And I'm just going to pry it off gently. And there you go. Easy as pie. Now again, before I actually remove this second brake pad. Okay, so now that I removed the top outer pad, I'm going to go ahead and compress a tiny bit more to the piston. You have a couple options. I mean, if you're at home, if you have like some huge pliers, you know, bigger than this, you could actually just, you know, use this to put on the bottom, just compress the piston. Or if you have something like this in your arsenal, this actually got this tool a couple years ago, and I think I bought it on eBay for like 20 bucks, and it serves its purpose, especially for these type of calipers. BMWs, they have like the whole big caliper there. The way it works, basically you just stick this tool in here and just give it a good turn, and it will compress the actual piston. Let me show you. Just keep your eye here and it'll just compress it for me. See that? I just want to compress it all the way down. It just goes slowly. You don't really have to put a lot of muscle, and you'll feel it once it taps out and you see how there's no more piston showing. And then I'll just take this out. And again, if you do have a BMW, this is a good tool to invest in. It'll save you a lot of headaches. And then now that I've compressed the whole piston, I'm gonna come back here. Let me get you some good lighting, guys. Again, I have my brake caliper in place, so it's not gonna move in any way, shape, or form. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this out like so, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this sensor out like so. Okay, that's gonna allow me to remove the brake. Let me get you an idea where the sensor was. Basically, the sensor went in here, and I don't know if you noticed this sensor here, it's already worn. So if you can see, it's kind of like wearing the same as the pads. So remember, you got to change this out, otherwise you're gonna have a issue with your brake reset sensor. It's gonna think that even if you put new brake shoes, it's gonna think that they're almost worn out. Okay, so now that we've taken out the brake pads, we're actually going to continue by removing the actual brake sensor. And all it is, just go back here, it's like a little box. You want to go and just pry those. Just be careful because these are very, very brittle. Let's see, there's some clips here in the back. Just want to open those up like so. Let me get my screwdriver. Here we go. And that should open. And this is the actual brake sensor clip. And we're just gonna unclip it. All you do is just a little clip here, push on it. Let me see if I could do it one hand. Okay, I can't. Let me get my other hand real quick. Okay, I'm gonna get you a better view. I'm using two hands, so there's this little clip here. Just push it and pull this way. I'll show you right now. Okay guys, so I guess this clip was so brittle that when I kept on pushing it, it broke off. So just be careful when you do pull on it. I'm just gonna pull this up and it should come out. There you go. So when I put the new one in, I'll put it like this. Alright, so let me go ahead and get the new one. Get that on. Alright guys, so whenever you install parts, I always compare the new one with the old one. So this is the old one. So You can buy these brake sensors at your local auto parts store. They range anywhere from $18 to $30 depending on the brand. But the main point I want to show you is just make sure you compare these side by side. Okay. Alright. Just comparing the length. Alright, this is good. Alright. We are good. Alright, we got that. So let's go ahead and install the new one. Okay, so for the new one, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this inside like so. And again, I broke off the little clip here, so I'm just gonna make sure it's nice and snugged in there. I'm just gonna come back here. Let me get you a better picture. I'm just gonna make sure I put this how I took it out. Like so. I'm just going to close this lid back. Make sure you hear it click. And just pull it towards you and make sure it's closed. Alright, so that's, now that we got that out of the way, let's go and continue. Okay, so the next step after we remove the brake pads and we compress the piston caliper, we're going to go ahead and start and removing some components to remove the rotor. So what you want to do, your BMW will have a Torx bit here, Torx screw, I'm sorry, and that Torx screw is going to be a T40. That's going to go here. Now, in order for you to take this out, the easiest way that I found, just get another, get your flathead screwdriver and put it in here, like so. Okay, and I'll tell you why. And then you want to go ahead and get your T40 bit, and you want to go ahead and put it here. And as you turn this and loosen it up, your flathead screwdriver is going to go ahead and kind of like be there to kind of block the rotor from turning. So let's go ahead and continue. There you go. And this is the actual T40 Torx screw. Okay, so don't lose that. And then we'll just come back here and remove the flathead screwdriver. Alright, so now that we have that loose, mine was pretty loose already because I had changed the wheel bearings a couple months ago, and you could find that if you're interested on changing the wheel bearings, you can find that on my videos. Just check my channel. Alright, so the next step, so we can remove the rotor, we have to remove the brake caliper. I'm sorry, the brake bracket. Okay, and it's held on by two 18mm bolts. One's right here, and then the one's down there. Okay, so let's go and do that real quick. I'm gonna get my wrench. Alright, there we go. Oops, sorry about that. Actually, kick you guys. Alright, let me get that. Continue keying that there. Alright, so I loosen that up. good. You get the bottom one. You can see that. Okay. And the brake bracket bolts should come out. That's one. Whoa, be careful. And there goes the other one. As you probably saw, they were held in like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this, and what I'm gonna do with the wire brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this out, take whatever gunk might be in there. But now that we have that bracket out, we could actually take the brake rotor out. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and take it to my shop to get it resurfaced. I don't know if you can see, but it's like a small lip here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the other side off as well. I'm gonna take both rotors and get them resurfaced, because they look to have plenty of material there that we can take a little bit off. So let me go ahead and go get these resurfaced. We'll come back and continue the process. Alright. Okay guys, so I just came back from getting my rotors resurfaced. Unfortunately, they went way below the minimum thickness. According to BMW, you have to have at least 28.4 millimeter of thickness. This is at 27. So what I did, I went and go ahead and just bought some new rotors that I'm gonna go ahead and clean out. So whenever you get any new rotors, you gotta make sure that you apply some brake cleaner or some type of cleaner on the actual surface, because they have like some type of filament. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spray this down. Just give it a good spray. Alright. And since I'm doing both sides, I'm going to go ahead and purchase this. So let me go ahead and get this cleaned out, and then we'll continue. Okay, so the next step, we're going to go ahead and start putting everything back in order. One thing I wanted to mention is that you definitely want to go ahead, when you put your new rotor on, you want to go ahead and make sure you clean around the front hubcap here, just because this is where the rotor is going to be. So just clean this out with the wire brush or whatever you have and your arse in there. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean this out a little bit, like so. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit of a brake cleaner. A little bit, like so. And since I'm here, I'm also going to go ahead and just clean down the brake caliper bracket. I'm sorry, the brake bracket here. Just want to go ahead and clean out these edges. This is where the brake shoes go, so just make sure you take the time to do this extra step since you already have the brake bracket off. Give it a good clean here. I'm just going to spray a little bit of brake cleaner. Alright. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of, I'm going to put a dab of anti-seize here around the hub, just so that way the rotor, if I ever need to change it in the future, doesn't get too stuck. Oops. Let's put a little bit. Like so. Because this is where it gets stuck a lot on the edges. Alright, so let's just put a light coat here. And then we're going to get ready to put the rotor on. And just temporarily, I'm going to put the rotor on, but I'm going to put one of the bolts just to hold it in place. Kind of have to align the threads there. And just clean off whatever excessive stuff that might have got on the actual disc rotor. And since you're here already, there's this little that's going to go ahead and hold the actual disc rotor there. Just put it in there for now. Then we're gonna go ahead and tighten. Remember, this is a T40, so let me go ahead and make sure that's tight in there. Almost forgot to mention, put a little bit of an anti-seize here, so that way in the future, if you have to ever change, it's not, you know, completely stuck in there. Just put a little tab on there like that. That should be good. Oh, I also forgot to mention that this little retainer, according to BMW, this gets torqued at 12 foot-pounds. Okay, so the next step, we're going to go and install the brake bracket. Now what I like to do, see these bolts, see how dry they are. Normally I like to do, I just try to put a little bit of a lubrication oil, just so that way they don't get too dry. Kind of like that. I'll do them both, like so. And now that we clean our brake bracket really good, as you can see, we're going to go ahead and install this bad boy. Now this brake bracket, according to BMW, it should be at 81 foot-pounds torque. So we're going to go ahead and torque this to 81 foot-pounds, okay? Alright, let's get this bracket installed. Basically, it's just going to be held on with these two 18mm bolts. Alright, so let me go ahead and get these torqued to 81 foot-pounds, and then we'll continue. Okay guys, just want to share this with you. In order for me to get this top 18mm bolt bracket, brake bracket torqued, I had to use a 3-inch extension, so that way my torque wrench could get in here like so, and I was able to torque it. Just want to kind of give you guys that tip. Okay guys, so next step, we're going to go ahead and install the brake pads. By doing so, we got to make sure that we clean the caliper correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit of a brake cleaner. And depending if it's a little bit too dirty, you definitely want to use a wire brush just around these areas. So I'm going to use a wire brush on mine, just because it's a little bit gunky. So let me go ahead and do that here real quick, clean it out, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay guys? Okay guys, so the next step, we're gonna go ahead and actually install the brake pads. Now if you're interested, this is part number for this set of brake shoes. Now these are ceramic. I do recommend to spend the extra money and get the ceramic brake pads. They last longer, and you know, they're more durable than the semi ceramics. So just make sure that when you buy these, you tell the person that this is, depending on your vehicle, if you have a automatic transmission or a manual, it does vary, because I have an automatic transmission, and the brake pads are actually bigger than the manual transmission. So just make sure you let the person helping you out at the auto store know exactly the vehicle that you have. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. First things first, we're going to get the one that's to the piston. But before I install the actual brake shoe, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of grease on the tips only. So let me show you real quick. Just a little bit on the top, just because this is going to go ahead and slide back and forth and on metal to metal, so that way you don't have that big friction. So just put a little bit here like so. Alright, and let me get you a close-up. This is actually going to go on this part right here. It's going to go inside the piston. So all you're going to do, you're just going to go ahead and put it in here, and you're going to snap it into place like that. And we're going to get the other one, and this is going to be on the outer part of the caliper. Okay, and just don't forget to put a little bit of grease just in the corners, like so. Both sides. Just a little bit. Alright. And basically, let me see if I could get you a good view. This is actually going to go in here, like so. And then this is going to snap in here. Snap them in there. See those little clips? Push them in, and they should be in there like so. Okay. Now that they're there, we're going to go ahead and install the caliper. So let me get you a better picture of how that's going to happen. Okay. And this should literally just slide right in, like so. That's perfect. I would encourage you to make sure that the outer brake shoe is actually rubbing here. Get your close-up on top of the caliper right there, so that way you can make sure that's nicely snugged in. And also make sure at the bottom here as well, you make sure that the brake shoe, it's nicely snugged in. Okay. And the next step, we're going to go ahead and put the brake caliper sliding bolts. Just remember that we had mentioned that the top one is shorter than the bottom of the caliper, so it's going to be this is going to go on the top caliper, and it's going to be at the bottom caliper. Okay, and this is going to be torqued to 22 foot-pounds according to BMW. What I normally like to do, I like to put a little bit of anti-seize on the thread, just a tiny bit, not a whole lot, and then I put a little bit on the sides. So just do this on the top and bottom. This is the bottom one, just a tiny bit. Okay. So let me go ahead and get these torqued and put on. And again, these are going to be to 22 foot-pounds torque. So let me go and do that real quick. Okay guys, so once we have these torqued down, we're going to go ahead and put the dust covers on those hose. Just make sure there's one on the top right here. I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze that in there. This just so that way you don't get any type of dust or debris stuck in there. So let me go ahead and put this in there like so. Alright, the next step, we're just going to go ahead and put on the actual brake sensor. All it is, just make sure that this tip is facing the actual rotor, and we're just going to squeeze it in there. Just make sure that you hear it snap. So that's in there. Just make sure you wiggle it, make sure it doesn't come out. So that's good. Alright. Okay guys, so next time we're gonna go ahead and put this bracket. One thing you want to keep in mind, you see this top and bottom edge, those have to go in between here and there, and then this lip is gonna go ahead in here. So you want to go ahead and kind of maneuver it, create some pressure into that, and you know, once you have it installed, this is going to kind of serve as to kind of like keeping these two here, kind of like create some type of pressure in here, so that way the caliper doesn't move back and forth. So let me go ahead and install this, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so for those that want to see how to put this in, because some of you guys might struggle, hopefully this tutorial will help you out. The best way that I figured out to put these on, and again, you want to start from this bottom part. So what I do, I'll just start here. I'll clip it in here, and then I'll put pressure on this side. Okay, so again, I'm just going to start here at the bottom, put it between these two grooves, and then I'm just going to push this lip inside here, like so. I'm going to hold it in here, and then with the flathead screwdriver, I'm going to go ahead and pry the top one as far back as I can. So just be patient. I'm going to kind of pull it towards you. Here. Be very careful. Alright, basically there she goes. Alright, it's in there. And again, this is kind of going to help you. The bracket's just going to keep this pressure on this side so that way the bracket doesn't, caliper doesn't, you know, move back and forth. Just make sure that's nice and snug. Alright, and again, just make sure these grooves are in here at the bottom as well. Alright guys, hopefully that helps you guys out. Alright guys, almost forgot to mention, make sure that you start your vehicle and put it on park, and just press on the brake pedal a couple times until you get it firm. And once you get that nice and firm, you want to come and check your brake reservoir. See how right now it's kind of like a little bit on the bottom, so you want to go ahead and top that off once you get both brakes in. Alright, so go ahead and do that before you actually drive off the vehicle. Alright guys, and all this you could just put it back in reverse order, just like you took it out. And again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. Have a blessed day guys. Okay guys, so another important thing I forgot to mention guys, we're gonna go ahead and reset the brake warning light on my BMW. Right now, if I turn it on, it's gonna go ahead and say that let me show you here. Go to service. If I go to my front brake, it's going to show that I have 13,000 miles. I don't know if you can see that. So what I'm going to do in order for us to reset this, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off the car. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put the key, and I'll put in the accessory. I'm not going to turn it on. And I'm just going to come here to the cluster. And I'm actually going to hold this reset button. I'm just going to hold it until the service info comes out on the dashboard. You'll see right now. Bear with me. Okay, that's the service one. So I'm going to push it. See how you have different options. You have the I think the front brakes, oil change, spark plugs, cabin air filter. So I'm gonna go to the actual, that's the rear brakes, that's the front brakes. I'm gonna hold this in place, and I'm gonna hold it again and let it go, and he reset it for me. So now I'm back at 25,000 miles. And to confirm, I'm just gonna go ahead and start up my car, and I'll show you guys here in a minute, just to make sure it's been reset. Yep, there you go. If I go to the front brakes, it's 25,000 miles. As you guys saw before, it was 13,000 miles, so it was almost done. Alright guys, so hopefully this tutorial helped you out. Again, comment if you like, thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks guys for watching.